Welcome, dear friend, to a night of gentle stillness. Tonight, we wander quietly through a moonlit observatory, where soft starlight spills across the logbook and calm fills the air. Let your thoughts settle, your breath slow, and drift with us into serene, peaceful sleep. Settle gently into this moment. There is nowhere you need to go, nothing you need to solve, and no thought that requires your attention right now. The day has already done enough. Tonight is for rest. Imagine the soft hush of night arriving slowly, like a careful hand lowering a blanket over the world. The air feels cooler, calmer, and kinder. Somewhere beyond the reach of busy streets and glowing screens, there is a quiet observatory resting under a wide, patient sky. Its windows are dim, its doors closed, its presence almost forgotten by time, and inside a single lamp glows warmly, steady, unhurried, peaceful. This is a place made for stillness. The astronomer who once worked here kept no loud instruments, no ticking clocks, no urgency. Only a logbook rests open on a smooth wooden desk. Its pages are thick and softly worn, filled with gentle notes written by a hand that never rushed. Each entry is calm, thoughtful, and slow, like breathing under a clear night sky. As you imagine this space, allow your shoulders to loosen. Let your jaw soften. Feel the quiet spreading outward, touching every part of you that feels tight or overworked. The night asks nothing from you. It simply offers rest. Outside the observatory, the stars glow faintly, not demanding attention, only existing in their quiet rhythm. They have been here long before worry, long before overthinking, long before today. They will remain steady and calm, whether they are watched or not. Inside, the logbook waits patiently. It does not rush to be read. It understands that some things unfold only when the mind is ready to slow down. Each page holds observations not just of the sky, but of peace itself, of silence, of patience, of nights when nothing needed to happen at all. As you breathe gently, imagine yourself stepping into this calm space. The wooden floor is cool beneath your feet. The air smells faintly of paper, ink, and night air. The lamp's light is warm and reassuring, casting soft shadows that never move too quickly. Your thoughts begin to drift, loosening their grip. They don't disappear suddenly. They simply become quieter, less important. Like stars fading at dawn, they soften naturally. Tonight, you are not here to think. You are here to rest. And as the quiet astronomer's logbook lies open beneath the gentle lamp glow, the night begins to guide you slowly, kindly, toward deeper calm. The observatory sits at the edge of a high, grassy hill, far from any road that remembers the sound of engines or hurried footsteps. It was built long ago, not for crowds or recognition, but for listening to the sky, to the night, to the gentle unfolding of time itself. Stone walls curve inward protectively, weathered smooth by decades of wind and moonlight. Ivy traces slow paths along the outer surface, as if even the plants here have learned to grow patiently. Inside, the air is cool and calm, holding the faint scent of old paper and polished wood. Nothing echoes sharply. Every sound softens the moment it is born. The observatory feels like it has been waiting, not for someone specific, but for quiet itself. At the center of the room stands a wide wooden desk, its surface worn by years of gentle use. A single lamp rests upon it, casting a warm circle of light that feels almost alive, steady, comforting, never too bright. Beyond the lamp's reach, the room fades into a peaceful dusk, shapes existing without demanding attention. And there, resting open on the desk, lies the logbook. Its pages are thick, slightly yellowed with age, edges softened by countless nights of careful turning. The handwriting inside is neat but unhurried, each word placed with intention, as if the writer never wanted to disturb the silence more than necessary. There are no rushed notes, no frantic observations, only calm reflections, written when the world outside had grown quiet enough to listen. The astronomer who kept this logbook was known only for his stillness. He arrived at the observatory each evening before dusk. Never early, never late. He would light the lamp, open the dome above, and let the night air settle naturally around him. There was no sense of urgency in his movements. He believed the sky would reveal itself in its own time. Tonight feels much like those nights. The dome above is partially open, revealing a wide stretch of sky, deep blue drifting toward black. A few early stars are already visible, faint and gentle, as if warming up before the night fully arrives. The breeze moves softly through the opening, cool and clean, brushing against the stone walls and carrying away anything restless. If you imagine standing here now, you might notice how your breathing begins to slow without effort. The space itself seems to guide it, longer inhales, softer exhales. The observatory does not rush you, it simply allows you to be. The logbook's first page is filled with a simple note, written many years ago. Tonight, the sky felt especially quiet. I listened longer than I observed. This was how most entries began, not with measurements or calculations, but with feeling. The astronomer believed that before studying the stars, one must first become still enough to notice them. As the night deepens, the stars gradually multiply overhead. They do not appear all at once. They arrive slowly, one by one, as if checking whether the night is calm enough to hold them. The moon is not yet visible, allowing the stars their gentle moment of prominence. The telescope stands nearby, tall and patient, angled toward the open sky. It has been used countless times, yet it never feels worn. Its surface is cool to the touch, steady and reliable. It does not hum or click. It waits. The astronomer would often pause before using it, resting a hand on its side, feeling the quiet vibration of the night passing through the metal. He believed the telescope should feel the night before looking into it. Another page in the logbook turns softly in your imagination. Some nights, I do not search for anything. I simply let the sky exist. There is comfort in this thought, the idea that nothing needs to be found, nothing needs to be solved. The sky does not require understanding to be beautiful. It only asks for presence. Outside the observatory, the hill slopes gently downward, covered in tall grass that sways slowly in the breeze. The movement is unhurried, almost synchronized, like a slow breath shared by the land itself. Far below, distant lights from a sleeping town glow faintly, muted and far away, as if belonging to another world entirely. Up here, the night feels closer. Inside, the lamp's glow reflects softly off the logbook's pages. The ink has faded slightly over time, but the words remain clear. They speak of nights spent watching constellations rise and fall, of meteor showers that came quietly and left without announcement, of moments when the astronomer closed his eyes and listened instead of looking. Silence, one entry reads, is the most accurate instrument I have. The observatory feels like an extension of this philosophy. There are no ticking clocks. Time is measured by the movement of stars, by the cooling of the air, by the gentle shift of shadows along the stone floor. Minutes stretch comfortably. Hours lose their edges. As the sky darkens fully, the moon begins its slow ascent, just beyond the dome's opening. Its light spills inward gradually, silver and soft, blending with the lamp's warm glow. Together, they create a balance, night and comfort, distance and closeness. The astronomer often wrote about this balance. The sky reminds me that I am small. One passage says, but the quiet reminds me that I am held. These words linger in the air, even now. You might imagine settling into the wooden chair near the desk, its surface smooth and cool. It supports you easily, as if shaped by years of patient sitting. There is no stiffness here, no discomfort. The chair does not demand posture, it allows rest. From this place, the observatory feels safe, contained and gentle. The dome curves overhead like a protective shell, open just enough to let the universe in without overwhelming the space. The stars remain distant, unintrusive, content to shine quietly. Another page turns. Tonight, I noticed how the sky never rushes. Perhaps that is why it feels peaceful. This simple observation carries weight. The night does not hurry. It does not push forward. It unfolds exactly as it should, moment by moment. without concern for schedules or expectations. As you imagine the observatory holding this calm, you may notice your thoughts slowing too. They no longer move sharply from one idea to another. They drift gently, like clouds crossing the moon's path, never blocking it completely, only softening its light for a moment before passing on. The telescope remains still, untouched. The astronomer did not always use it. Some nights were meant only for listening, for letting the stars exist without interpretation. The logbook reflects this wisdom. There are blank spaces between entries, days or weeks where nothing was written at all. These gaps were intentional. They were moments where observation happened without documentation, where peace did not need to be recorded to be real. The observatory itself seems to breathe with the night. Stone cools slowly, wood holds warmth gently. Air circulates without noise. Everything works together to create a space where rest feels natural. The moon rises higher now, casting faint patterns on the floor, soft shapes that shift slowly as time passes. They do not distract, they soothe. This is the gentle mystery of the logbook. It is not about discovering the stars, but about discovering stillness within their presence. Each entry is a reminder that calm does not come from answers, but from allowing the night to be what it is. And as the observatory settles deeper into darkness and moonlight, the first part of this quiet night comes to rest unhurried, complete, and ready to carry you further into calm. The quiet deepens as the night continues to settle into itself. Nothing shifts suddenly. Nothing announces change. Instead, everything eases forward in small, almost unnoticeable ways, like a long breath slowly reaching its natural end. The astronomer often wrote that the middle of the night was his favorite time, not the beginning, when the sky was still adjusting, and not the end, when dawn waited nearby, but this calm center, when everything felt balanced and untroubled. It is this moment that fills the observatory now. The stars overhead have fully arranged themselves, constellations lying gently across the darkness like familiar stories retold without words. They are not sharp points of light, but soft glimmers, steady and patient. The dome frames them perfectly, offering just enough sky to feel expansive without ever becoming overwhelming. The logbook remains open, its pages resting peacefully under the lamp's glow. The paper feels warm now, as if it has absorbed years of lamplight and quiet nights. The astronomer's handwriting continues across the page, even, unforced, calm. Some nights, one entry reads, "I imagine the stars are writing back to me." Slowly, silently. This thought lingers in the space, not as an idea to analyze, but as a feeling to rest inside. The breeze shifts slightly, just enough to carry the scent of grass and distant earth into the room. It brushes past the desk, the chair, telescope, never lingering, never demanding attention. The air moves the way calm always does, gently, respectfully. You might imagine the astronomer standing near the open dome now, hands resting loosely at his sides, shoulders relaxed. He is not searching the sky. He is simply sharing the moment with it. There is no sense of separation between him and the night. Both exist together quietly. Another page in the logbook turns. The sky does not judge how long I look, it says. It waits. These words carry a deep comfort. There is no pressure here to observe correctly, to understand deeply, or to stay alert. The night does not require effort. It allows softness. The observatory itself seems to respond to this permission. Shadows soften further. The lamp's glow grows slightly dimmer, not because it fades, but because your eyes have grown more comfortable with the dark. The contrast feels gentle, balanced. Outside, the tall grass has slowed its movement, responding to the easing breeze. The distant town lights below the hill appear fewer now. As homes fall deeper into sleep, the world little by little is letting go. Inside, the chair near the desk seems even more inviting. It holds warmth from years of use, shaped subtly by countless quiet nights. Sitting there feels like being supported without being held too tightly. Your body would naturally settle, your weight distributed evenly, muscles releasing without instruction. The astronomer often sat like this for long stretches, doing nothing that could be measured. He believed these moments were just as important as observation, especially for the mind. Rest, another entry says, is also a form of seeing. The moon has climbed higher now, its light spreading more evenly across the observatory floor. It blends seamlessly with the lamplight, creating a soft, layered glow that feels neither fully inside nor fully outside. The boundary between the room and the sky feels thinner here. The telescope remains unused, but not forgotten. It stands quietly, content in its stillness. It does not mind being overlooked. It understands that not every night is meant for looking closely. Some nights are meant for letting distance remain distance. The logbook contains many such nights. Blank pages appear again, wide and unmarked, like pauses between breaths. These empty spaces feel intentional, peaceful, complete in their own way. They suggest that silence does not need explanation. As the night continues, your awareness may feel broader yet softer, like spreading warmth rather than focused attention. Thoughts slow to a gentle drift. They do not pull. They do not demand resolution. They simply pass one by one, dissolving into the quiet. The observatory feels like a place outside of time now. The hours do not move forward in steps. They flow together, smooth and continuous. There is no need to count them. The astronomer closes the logbook gently, not because the night is over, but because writing feels unnecessary now. The quiet has said enough. The stars continue their slow paths overhead, unnoticed and content. This part of the night feels complete, not finished, just settled. And as the observatory rests in this deep, steady calm, the quiet holds everything gently, preparing the way for the night to carry on, unrushed, unbroken, and ready to guide you further into rest. The night continues without announcing itself. There is no clear line between what has passed and what is unfolding now, only a smooth, unbroken sense of calm that carries the observatory forward. The air feels slightly cooler, yet more comfortable, as though it has settled into the exact temperature needed for rest. Inside the observatory, everything remains in its place. The chair, the lamp, the telescope, nothing has moved, yet the space feels subtly different, softened by time. This is the kind of change that happens not through action, but through presence. The astronomer returns to the desk quietly and opens the logbook once more. The pages part easily, as if they know where to open. The paper makes no sharp sound, only a gentle whisper that blends into the night. The lamp's glow follows his movement, illuminating the familiar handwriting again. Tonight's entry begins slowly. The sky feels closer when I stop trying to understand it. There is something deeply comforting in this sentence. It suggests that closeness does not come from effort, but from ease, from letting the mind rest instead of reaching. The stars above seem to echo this idea. They shimmer softly, not brighter than before, but calmer somehow, less like distant lights and more like quiet companions. Their patterns stretch across the sky with no urgency, tracing paths that have existed for longer than memory. The dome opening frames them gently, like a window into stillness. The astronomer steps toward the telescope at last, not to search, but to observe without intention. He adjusts it slowly, each movement unhurried, deliberate, smooth. There is no rush to align it perfectly. Perfection is not required tonight. He peers through the lens briefly, then steps back, satisfied. What he saw does not need description. The act itself was enough. In the logbook, another line appears. Sometimes I look through the telescope to remind myself how small my worries are. The observatory absorbs these words quietly. They settle into the space, becoming part of its calm atmosphere. The idea drifts gently, offering relief without instruction. Outside, the wind has slowed even further. The tall grass barely moves now, resting upright as if it too has found stillness. The hill feels grounded, steady, secure. Nothing feels fragile here. Inside, the stone walls hold warmth collected over the evening. The floor remains cool beneath bare feet or sturdy shoes, grounding without discomfort. The contrast feels balanced, soothing. The astronomer returns to the chair and sits, The chair accepts his weight easily, creaking only once, a soft sound, familiar and comforting. He leans back slightly, eyes lifting toward the open dome. This is a position he knows well. The logbook rests open on the desk beside him, pages filled and waiting. He does not feel compelled to write immediately. Silence comes first, always. The moon has moved higher, its light now spreading evenly across the observatory. The shadows it casts are soft, edged, gentle, never sharp. They shift slowly, marking time without counting it. Another entry waits patiently on the page. I have learned that the night does not need my attention. It simply allows it. The thought feels like an invitation rather than a statement. An invitation to rest attention wherever it feels lightest. The astronomer closes his eyes for a moment, breathing slowly, deeply. His breath matches the rhythm of the night, long, unbroken, unforced. Inhale, pause, exhale, pause. Nothing else is required. When he opens his eyes again, the stars seem unchanged, yet somehow closer. Perhaps because his mind is quieter now, less crowded with questions. The logbook contains sketches as well, simple, faint outlines of constellations, drawn without precision. They are not meant to be accurate. They are impressions, memories, feelings translated into shape. One sketch is labeled only with a single word, enough. The observatory understands this word. The lamp flickers gently, not from instability, but from the natural movement of air. Its flame or bulb remains steady, calm, reliable. It does not demand attention. It simply glows. Outside, the distant town is fully asleep now. No new lights appear. No sounds drift upward. The world below has softened into quiet, leaving this hilltop observatory alone with the sky. The astronomer turns another page. There is comfort in knowing the stars will continue whether I watch them or not. This realization carries a deep sense of relief. The idea that nothing depends on effort right now, that everything essential continues on its own. The telescope remains nearby, angled toward a familiar portion of sky. It does not call out to be used. It is content in stillness. The astronomer's thoughts wander gently, never straying far from calm. He remembers nights when he arrived here, carrying the weight of the day, questions, responsibilities, unfinished thoughts. Those nights always softened eventually. The observatory had a way of absorbing what felt heavy. Tonight feels lighter from the start. He writes again. The sky teaches patience without speaking. The words settle into the page, then into the room. As the night continues, the air grows even quieter. Not emptier, just quieter. The kind of quiet that feels full, complete, and kind. The observatory seems to hold it carefully, like a fragile but precious thing. The chair supports the astronomer fully now. His body relaxes into it, muscles releasing tension without thought. His breathing remains slow, steady, deep. The moonlight on the floor forms soft shapes that drift gradually, like clouds crossing water. They do not distract, they soothe. Another page reveals a longer entry, written on a night much like this one. I once believed the sky held answers. Now I believe it holds permission to slow down, to rest, to let go. The words feel timeless. The observatory responds by growing even more still. The night seems to listen. The astronomer rests his hands loosely in his lap, fingers relaxed, unmoving. He feels no urge to reach for the pen again. The logbook remains open, content with what has been shared. The stars continue their slow journey overhead, unnoticed and unbothered. They do not rush toward dawn. They take their time. The dome opening frames the sky like a gentle reminder that there is always something larger, holding everything together. As this part of the night unfolds, awareness softens further. Thoughts no longer form complete sentences. They dissolve before finishing, leaving behind only sensation, warmth, stillness, breath. The observatory feels less like a place now and more like a state of being. Calm does not exist inside it. Calm is it. The astronomer closes the logbook again, not marking the page. There is no need. The night remembers, and as the observatory continues to rest beneath the quiet sky, this deeper layer of calm settles fully, steady, unbroken, carrying you gently forward, without effort, without expectation, into the next soft unfolding of the night. The stillness deepens without becoming heavy. It feels like sinking into a warm surface that fully supports you, asking nothing in return. The observatory remains awake, yet entirely at rest, as though it has learned how to listen to silence itself. The astronomer remains seated, eyes half, lidded now, gaze unfocused and gentle. He is no longer watching the sky in detail. He is simply allowing it to exist in front of him. There is a difference, one that the body understands, even when the mind no longer tries to name it. The logbook lies closed on the desk, its presence reassuring. It does not demand completion or accuracy. It is not a record meant to impress. It is a companion, quiet, patient, forgiving. Every page inside it holds moments that were never rushed. A subtle creak moves through the old wooden beams overhead as the temperature shifts slightly. The sound is low and familiar, like the observatory stretching in its sleep. Nothing follows it. Silence returns easily, naturally. The astronomer adjusts his position just once, settling more comfortably into the chair. The movement is slow, thoughtful, unforced. His shoulders drop a little further. His jaw loosens. His breath deepens again. Outside, a thin veil of cloud drifts lazily across part of the sky. It does not hide the stars, it softens them, turning their sharp points into gentle glows. The moonlight diffuses through the cloud, spreading calm evenly across the hill. The observatory seems to breathe with the night. The astronomer opens his eyes fully now, but there is no sharpness in his focus. He looks around the room, the desk, the shelves, the instruments that have spent years quietly assisting rather than demanding. Each object carries a sense of familiarity that brings ease. He reaches for the logbook again, not because he feels he should write, but because it feels natural to hold it. The cover is smooth, warmed slightly by the room. He opens to a blank page near the end. This page feels different. It feels unburdened. He writes slowly, letting the pen move at its own pace. Tonight, the quiet feels kind. The words sit comfortably on the page, spaced generously, leaving room for breath between them. He pauses, listening, not for sound, but for the absence of it. The absence feels safe here. It does not threaten, it supports. The telescope stands nearby, still angled toward the softened sky. It has already done its work for the night, simply by being present. The astronomer does not feel the need to adjust it again. There will be other nights. He adds another line beneath the first. I no longer ask the sky for anything. This realization feels complete whole. It does not carry disappointment, only relief. The observatory holds onto these words gently, as though storing them somewhere deeper than the walls, deeper than the floor. They become part of the place itself. Outside, the cloud continues drifting slow and unhurried. Stars fade slightly behind it, then reappear as the veil thins. The motion is steady, predictable, comforting. Nothing surprises the night. The astronomer rests the pen down and leans back again, letting the logbook remain open. His eyes follow the curve of the dome overhead, tracing its shape without effort. The structure feels protective, like a shelter built not just for observation, but for rest. His breathing now has a softness to it, longer pauses, gentler exhales. Each breath releases something unnamed. The night air carries a faint scent of earth and stone, clean and grounding. It drifts in through the open dome, mixing with the warmth inside, creating a balance that feels just right. The astronomer's thoughts slow further. They no longer connect into narratives. They become impressions instead, light, shadow, breath, space. The logbook page remains open, blank except for 2 simple lines. That feels like enough. The lamp's glow remains steady, casting a circle of warmth that does not intrude beyond its boundary. It illuminates what needs illumination and leaves the rest in peaceful dimness. Time moves quietly here. It does not announce itself. It does not measure itself. It simply passes gently. The astronomer allows his eyes to close again. This time, they stay closed a little longer. His body recognizes the rhythm of the night and aligns with it naturally. The observatory remains unchanged, yet feels fuller. as though calm has layered itself into every surface, every corner. Outside, the sky continues its slow rotation, carrying constellations from one edge of the dome to the other. The motion is subtle, nearly imperceptible, but steady, a reminder that even rest contains movement. Inside, nothing needs to move at all. The logbook page waits patiently, open to whatever might come next, or to nothing at all. Both are welcome. And as this deeper calm settles fully into the observatory, into the astronomer, and gently into you, the night continues to unfold without effort, quiet, warm, and endlessly reassuring, preparing the way for the next soft chapter of stillness that lies ahead. The night has reached a depth where it no longer feels like time at all. It feels like a wide, gentle space, open, calm, and endlessly patient. Inside the observatory, the quiet has grown familiar, like a presence that no longer needs introduction. The astronomer remains still, not asleep, not fully awake either. He exists in that gentle middle place where awareness softens and the mind stops reaching outward. The observatory seems designed for this state, as if every stone and beam understands how to hold a human being gently. The logbook rests open on the desk, its last page catching the warm lamplight. The ink has settled into the paper, dark and calm, as though it has always belonged there. No new words appear yet. There is no hurry. Beyond the dome, the sky continues its slow turning. Constellations that were once centered drift gradually toward the edge of view, replaced by others that rise quietly into place. None announce themselves. They arrive like familiar thoughts that no longer need attention. The astronomer opens his eyes again, slowly, comfortably. His gaze lifts toward the sky, but it does not fix on any single point. He has learned that seeing everything at once is different from studying one thing closely. Tonight is for the wider view. He remembers when the logbook was new, its pages crisp, its spine stiff. In those early nights, he filled it with careful notes, precise measurements, detailed sketches. He believed accuracy was the most important thing he could offer the sky. Over time, the entries changed. They grew quieter, simpler, more spacious. Now, many pages contain only a few lines or even a single sentence. Some contain nothing at all, and those empty pages feel just as meaningful. He turns a few pages back, reading older entries slowly. Observe the constellation clearly tonight. One early note reads, "Conditions were ideal. Pages shift in tone. Conditions felt calm." Another says, "I stayed longer." And later still, "I did not observe. I listened." The progression feels gentle, natural, not an abandonment of purpose, but an expansion of it. The astronomer smiles faintly at this realization, then lets the thought drift away. The observatory is quiet enough now that even small sounds feel noticeable, but not intrusive. the soft brush of fabric as the astronomer adjusts his position, the faint sigh of air moving through stone, the distant call of a night bird far below the hill, softened by distance until it becomes part of the background. Each sound appears, then dissolves. The telescope remains nearby, its lens pointed toward a region of sky now filled with subtle stars. The astronomer reaches out and rests his hand against its cool surface again. This time, the touch feels grounding, like placing a hand on something steady and dependable. He does not look through it. Instead, he closes his eyes briefly and imagines the view, the vastness, the quiet, the slow movement of light across distance. He does not need to see it to feel it. Another memory surfaces gently. There was a night long ago when he arrived here restless, his mind crowded with questions that refused to settle. He had opened the logbook and written page after page, hoping words would bring clarity. They did not. Eventually, he stopped writing. He turned off the lamp. He sat in the dark and let the night surround him. That was the first time he truly felt the observatory working, not as a place of study, but as a place of rest. He opens the logbook again and adds another quiet line beneath the last. The more I release, the more the sky gives back. The words feel complete as they are. The lamp's glow seems softer now, not because it has changed, but because the eyes no longer demand brightness. The room feels wrapped in a gentle half, light that allows everything to exist without sharp edges. Outside, the clouds have thinned, leaving the sky clearer again. The moonlight brightens slightly, reflecting off the stone floor in pale, slow-moving shapes. The patterns drift almost imperceptibly, marking time in the kindest way possible. The astronomer's breathing remains deep and even. Each inhale feels cool and fresh. Each exhale releases warmth back into the room. There is no effort in it now. Breathing happens on its own. The observatory seems to respond, settling even further. It feels less like a structure and more like an extension of the night itself, a place where walls exist only to create safety, not separation. The shelves along the walls hold old charts and notebooks, their edges softened by age. They are rarely opened now. Their purpose has already been fulfilled. They hold history, not urgency. The astronomer glances toward them briefly, then back to the sky. His attention moves slowly, unanchored, like a leaf floating on still water. He thinks about the word logbook, how it suggests recording, tracking, remembering. Yet this book has become something else over time. It is not a record of discoveries. It is a record of letting go. Each page reflects a night where nothing needed to be accomplished. The observatory teaches this lesson quietly, without instruction, by existing, by holding space. The astronomer rests his head back gently against the chair, His eyes close again, this time without intention. His awareness drifts inward, then outward, blending the two. The sky continues its movement. Stars shift. The moon climbs. None of it requires attention to continue. The night feels generous now, wide open, safe. Thoughts arise briefly, small, incomplete, and then fade. There is no need to follow them. They dissolve naturally, like mist under morning light that is still far away. The logbook remains open, pages breathing quietly in the lamplight. No new words appear, and none are needed. The observatory holds everything gently: sky, stone, silence, breath. And as this deeper layer of stillness settles fully, the night moves on without disturbance, carrying you softly, effortlessly, into an even calmer, quieter state, where awareness becomes light and rest becomes the only thing that matters.